Hey, gorgeous people. Welcome to Friday. I hope you've had a fabulous week and a great start, obviously, to the 2019. It's nearly going to say 2018 then. And I really want to chat about the art of manifesting. It's something that I have consciously played with and experimented with and worked with for over 10 years of my life, and it makes such a difference. And we're constantly manifesting, we're constantly creating stuff in our life all of the time, but just are you actually doing it consciously? And quite often we can end up with results in our life that we feared the most, or that were the most difficult for us. Good morning, say hello if you're jumping on here as well. And if this really resonates as well, please let me know, or ask any questions as well. Of course, like I always love this to be as interactive as possible, simply because you'll get the most benefit from that too. So, hey Jody, great to have you on this morning. I can't see who else has jumped on here just yet, but hey Chris, good morning. Lovely to have you guys on here. So this is such an important thing to become really conscious of our thoughts. And I'm so grateful to be able to say that 95% of the life that I live today, so the hours that I work, the way that my health is, the way that my body is, where I live, what I drive, what my relationships are like, all of those things have been very consciously created as well. Hey Tony, sorry, I'm having trouble reading. Hey Sarah, great to have you on. So like I said before, guys, if you've got any questions about this, please fire away as well. I'm more than happy to answer whatever I can around this for you if you've got some questions. But definitely the biggest thing is we magnetize ourselves to what we want by our feelings. And I think that that's a really important statement, because quite often we can think that we're focusing on what we want, but in actual fact we're focusing on what we actually don't want. And you will know immediately by how you're actually feeling. So if you're feeling frustrated that something hasn't happened, in that moment you are magnetizing yourself to experience even more. You're attracting more and more events and situations in life that are going to frustrate you. Now what actually happens with this is either we're in an upward spiral or we're in a downward spiral. And so at all times we can be feeling better and better and better and better and even more joy and even more joy, or we can be feeling disappointment, frustration, discouragement, overwhelmment, and perhaps dropping down. You know, when that happens enough, we drop down to despair, we drop down to powerlessness, and we feel like, well, why even bother? Why even try? And it's tough. It's so tough. And I've certainly been there many times as well. It's not to say that it's all been a bed of roses, because what happens with life is that we continue to experience contrast as well, and contrast is nothing more than experiencing something that we don't actually like, because it helps us to discern, it helps us to get clear on what it is that we actually do want as well. Now, depending on your belief system, depending on what you believe to be true, definitely impacts what it is that you'll actually allow yourself to receive or allow yourself to have as well. And I've certainly found that I've also got upper and lower limit thresholds, or kind of like a thermostat really, where it's like if something gets too bad, then it's like, oh my god, no, I can't have it like this. And so I'll get into action and I'll start to take action around stuff. But other times too, when life kind of gets a bit too good, we can want to dull that down as well. So at all times it really comes back to true emotional mastery. And that's the trick with any of this stuff, because a lot of the reason why we want things to change is we want to feel better, and that's what kind of keeps us hooked into this. Hey Dee, great to have you on, babe. Is that we want something to change outside of ourselves, or we want to look better, like whether that's physically, or we want to have more money in the bank so that we feel more secure or confident. We want to have nicer friendships, or we want to have a better relationship because of the way that it's going to make us feel. And this is what is so challenging, because we're wanting that circumstance to change without actually doing the inner work first. And when you do the inner work first, things start to change externally very fast. And I had just the most beautiful example of how we attract what it is that we're attracting in our life. And I any time that I'm experiencing anything, whether it's good or bad, I take it all in as feedback. It's never that life's happening to me, it's always happening for me, because it's always reflecting what am I magnetizing myself to in that very moment. And I find that it can happen really, really, really fast as well. And like I had an experience last Friday, and a few of you may have seen or may not have seen, but there was a comment on one of my videos which was like so it was out of left field. I've never received a comment like that before, and I was so curious with that, because and it was just, all it was somebody thinking that I was fake, or calling me fake, and it was just like, oh wow, that's fascinating. But it was actually really true in the moment, because I had some feelings going on underneath, but had the bright bubbly exterior kind of going on top, which, you know, we can all do. So it was really getting clear on, oh, where is that showing up? What is that actually reflecting? And a lot of the time too, when things are going on like that, we tend to take things really personally and make it about us. There's generally something going on for the other person as well, where we've co-created that situation or that circumstance. They might have had some different beliefs. They might have had something kind of going on as well. Hey, Sandra, great to have you on, honey. Hey, Chrissy, great to have you on too, darling. So it was really, really interesting, and it was fascinating, because as soon as I got that comment, after I saw that, I did the inner work, I cleared my stuff, I cleared what was kind of bubbling away underneath, felt really good again, was loving and appreciating myself and everything else, and then got this amazing, beautiful comment from this other lady. And it was so reflective, it was so perfect. And there's a million different demonstrations that I could like talk about where this is true, and why I really wanted to jump in around, you know, particularly the art of manifesting, and particularly the art of manifesting money, because hey, at the end of the day, money really does affect or impact how we're actually feeling in life, and whether we believe that we can get the other goals that we're wanting to as well, because most things obviously do cost money. Obviously the, you know, love and friendship and all of that, you know, the most important values certainly aren't coming from money, but money definitely makes our life easier. You know, we can be happy or sad with or without money. Our emotions aren't impacted by money, but sometimes that we believe that to be true as well. And at the end of the day, having money makes it an easier life, and we can obviously contribute more, we can do more for others, we can really just make such a difference in life by having more money as well. Not only that, but it gives us that sense of, oh, I can sleep tonight and feel secure, feel confident, and in my financial future as well. And so, you know, it's a tricky topic. You know, it's like money, sex, and God tend to be the three biggest things for people that really, or money and relationships and God or religion or any of those things tend to be the trickiest things that can kind of get us a little bit stuck at times as well. And so I think obviously with Christmas, with holidays, maybe with working less, or maybe having more expenses and things go out, this can be a real sticking point for a lot of people. I know it was for me. I felt much better coming into Christmas this year. I was a lot more prepared. I'd done a lot during the year to set myself into a really great space. And then I knew also that I had a couple of clients that were finishing up early January, and that my income was a little bit less because of that. And then I had some greater expenses coming in February. So it was like, I found myself reflecting again on, well, what's the universe showing me? Where are my thoughts going with this? And what am I making this mean? And so I did the inner work on it, got really clear, what is it that I want instead? Because I found that when I was thinking about money, instead of feeling good, instead of feeling abundant, instead of feeling excited, passionate, enthusiastic, all of those things which let me know exactly what I'm bringing into my life. So when I'm feeling that way, then I know that I'm aligning with what it is that I want. Whereas when I feel worry, when I feel doubt, when I feel frustration, when I feel impatient, when I feel scared, when I feel fearful, when I feel powerless, I know I've cut myself off from being able to receive what it is that I want. And I'm going to attract more expenses. I'm going to attract more lack. I'm going to attract maybe other clients finishing up. You know, there's all this roll-on effect that really can impact us with our money. And so I did some quick internal work, and when I say quick, I've been doing it for so long now that it really I can get clear pretty quick, and I can shift my emotions around stuff pretty quick. And within 4 days, I'd literally this week, so from Monday to Thursday this week, created what I would normally in a month in a week. And it's cash in the bank. It's not promises of money. It's not people thinking, oh yeah, maybe I might buy it. It's actual cash in the bank that's arrived within 4 days, literally from just changing my vibe and go, okay, I'm going to open myself up. I'm going to magnetize myself to call in some money, and have myself feeling more secure than ever before. And I'm super pumped because I'm off to the Sunshine Coast next week, so I knew that I'd be doing a little bit less work next week because I'm hanging out with my teenage daughter and a couple of her mates, and a couple of other really good friends of mine that I'm going up to visit, and my auntie and cousin. So lots of socializing, lots of fun time, and I can also still be magnetizing myself to attracting more income in that moment as well. So there's a couple of different steps to manifestation, and if anybody's got any questions around this, please jump in, please ask me questions around it. I am really excited. I'm kind of thinking I will definitely be unleashing a manifestation training, like a money manifestation training, simply because I think it's one of those things that can create so much stress in our life. And the more that you can tune into those things for yourself, you can start to shift this very quickly for yourself, and then take the aligned action. It's not just sitting meditating and having all this money fall into your lap, but it is aligning with the best part of you. It is taking action on what it is that you feel genuinely called to do. Whereas I know in the past, when I've not been lined up with money, I've put in a stack of effort, and I'm sure that you guys probably would have experienced something similar, where it feels like you're working so hard, you're trying to do so much, but nothing's working, and it's frustrating, it's exhausting when we're in that resistant energy, and all it does is continue us down that spiral. And generally it's because there's a limiting belief there's a thought or something. Hey Nick, great to have you on, honey. There's a thought or a feeling or a belief that money's hard to make, or I have to work hard to deserve money, or there'll be some funky money beliefs that are kind of playing out with all of this as well. So hey Joe, great to have you on, hun. So this is super important to not only like the reflection of what you're actually experiencing in your life currently is going to let you know what your current beliefs are. If you feel like you've got to work so many hours in order to be able to receive the income that you desire, there will be definitely like a belief around, I've got to work hard to deserve money. And like, let's face it, we've all kind of been fairly deeply ingrained with that from society, from probably our parents, from generational stuff and everything else, because they were doing it so tough, and there was the old way of thinking. But this really is a fast way of transforming, and it, like I said, it's not about just sitting, meditating and going, yes, all this money's gonna come to me. It's definitely still about taking action, but the action that you take will be so aligned with new opportunities or new ways of literally attracting yourself to the experiences that you want. And the universe really has some powerful, amazing ways of delivering to us, and sometimes we can get so caught up in the money has to come through a particular way. So if we only believe that money can come to us through income, that through paid work, well then of course we're going to limit the other ways that we could actually receive money. Maybe it's through like a refund for insurance, or maybe it's through another multiple source of income. So I often say, like I run a bit of a statement or an affirmation, making money is as easy as breathing. And the first time I heard that, I was like, oh, I know that I didn't believe that because it didn't feel right for me. But the more that I've kind of anchored that in, I'm like, wow, it really is. It's so accessible. And when we know how to actually add value in the world, and adding value really is just about making a difference or making an impact in other people's lives. Hey Denise, great to have you on. And making a real difference in people's lives. When we can add value, and maybe that's like by up leveling our skill set. So it might still be through work, but you can get a promotion. So you're outgrowing your job because you're adding more value, or you're showing up in a different way, or perhaps you're helping more people get what it is that they're wanting in life. If you've got your own business, whether that's helping people feel better, or whether that's them getting healthy, or whether that is them making more money through their business, or whether it's a service or a product that you provide that adds value in some way. And the more value that we can add in life, that's we're automatically going to get a financial return for that as well. Hey Ange, great to have you on. So the process around this, I use a couple of different methods, which is the emotional guidance scale, and I also do the Byron Katie work as well, which I've spoken a lot about. If you're wanting to check that out, I'm not going to run through either of those at the moment. We'll be covering all of that in the Money Manifestation course. But if you're wanting to find out more about that, you can just go to www.thework.com to get the Byron Katie questions, and that's where it challenges your own beliefs. So if you've got some limiting beliefs around money, that money's hard to make or it's hard to hold on to money, I certainly had that. You know, money would come into my account, I would get rid of it as quickly as possible. I was very uncomfortable with having large sums of money in my account, and it's something I really needed to work on because I have sold my house recently, and I didn't obviously want to have me getting rid of all that money as well from the equity that I had in the house. And so there's lots of different things, you know, we've got to extend ourselves, we've got to get ourselves out of the comfort zone as well. So it's really understanding, number one, what are your limiting beliefs? Number two, what are your day-to-day emotions? Now, the biggest trick to this is we'll have different emotions about different stuff, but generally your general feeling will be at the sum total of everything that's going on in your life. So you might have some areas that are quite painful, you might have some areas that are going really well, so you'll be the sum total. Your emotional kind of set point or your average set point will be around those things. Now the trick is to really focus in on, well, how do I feel specifically about money? Or if you're wanting to work on your relationship, or if you're wanting to work on maybe getting a house, how do I specifically feel about that particular thing? And so you've really got to focus in and go, oh, that I feel horrible about that, or I feel angry about that, or I feel frustrated about that, or I feel excited, or I feel grateful. And that's where you know, when you're in the feeling of gratitude as if you've already received that thing, that's when the magic happens. That's when you've opened yourself up to an amazing and incredible opportunity for the universe to deliver that thing to you in a way that lights you up, in a way that feels great for you, that will bring whatever it is that you're desiring to you easier and faster than ever before. And like I said, you might have to take some action. You might have to, you know, go out and talk to some people. You might have to make some phone calls. You might have to, it's whatever you feel genuinely called internally. And quite often we've got that whisper, we've got that soul voice. Hey Naomi, great to have you on. Hey Tatia. Sorry, I was going to say Talia then. I couldn't see it properly. So with all of those things, like, we need to be really, I guess, like, tuning in and listening to what is your internal guidance every day as well. Because so often, you know, people are called to either write a book or to start a business or to do something that there's like a deep longing inside where we go, oh, I can't do that, or we dismiss it, and that's all those limiting beliefs that come in then that start to block. Hey Bev, great to have you on. That block what it is that we're actually wanting to receive, or what we are actually wanting to experience in life as well. And so with those, you'll know if it's a limiting belief, because it won't feel good, it won't feel right. So the biggest challenge that most people have around this is generally when something's been a particular way for such a long time. So whether it's about money, whether it's about weight, whether it's about relationship, when we've experienced the same thing, so it's like, but that's what's actually happening to me, so how can I not believe that that's real? And I understand that, and that's the biggest challenge, is because when it's shown up that way for so many times, remembering that it's always a constant reflection. So if you're having the same thoughts, if you're having the same beliefs, if you're having the same feelings every single day, it's going to continue showing up the same way. And that's what's really frustrating, because that when we get that feedback, then we generally take it on and it cements and reinforces the current beliefs that we actually have about that situation. So in order to create the change, we need to challenge those limiting beliefs. We need to get clear, how do I actually feel about that particular subject or about that particular life area when I think about it? Do I feel excited? Do I feel happy? And we need to start training ourselves, even though the situation hasn't changed, and I get how difficult that can be. I had so many times, particularly when I first became a single mom, like I was in terror around, like, not just fear, but like actual terror. I was only earning $300 a week and I had no clue how I was going to support my children, and I was terrified, like emotionally emotionally and mentally and physically how I was going to do that, being just one person and everything else, but more so it was financially that I felt the most challenged around. And I was so reactive emotionally as well. So that obviously was really challenging then. They were only 5 and 7 at the time. And yet by learning everything that I learned and implementing everything that I learned, I had to ignore the fact that I had more outgoings than I had incoming. I had to ignore all of that, and I have to think differently. We can't create a new reality from the same level of thinking that created it. You might have already heard that statement from Einstein, and it's so true. We have to elevate ourselves by getting ourselves out of our own way, by changing our emotions quite strategically within ourselves and thinking about, well, what is it that I want instead? And it's a great pivoting question. So anytime that you notice, oh, that feels horrible, and we're starting to think about something that we don't want to experience, or thinking about something in the past that bugged us, and that's a lot of our problem. So we're reflecting on the past and we continue to drag that heavy bag along with us into the future, and it's exhausting, it's tiring, because we're reliving it by thinking about that thing that happened yesterday, or that thing that happened last week, or that thing that happened a month ago, and we tend to stack it. We're like, oh, and this is going wrong, and that's going wrong, and that's going wrong, and that's going wrong, and you know, like, gosh, we can get so burdened by it so quickly. So the second that we actually start to recognize, oh, I feel down, I feel a bit sad, or I feel flat within myself, what thought am I actually currently thinking? What's a better feeling thought to think? Oh, well, I'd be looking forward to feeling calmer. I'd be looking forward to feeling more secure with my money. And you'll feel it instantly, because it's almost like a feeling of relief internally that helps to shift and change this. And then as you actually start to do that, look for where the reflection is. So like, I get this all the time. The second that I start to change, not only do I feel better immediately, so I'm getting the immediate feedback, yep, I'm on the right track, because I'm feeling better. But like, oh, we'll find like 5 cents or $2 or like just money like in the car park, or something will show up really randomly, or somebody will contact me about a course, or there will be some sort of feedback to let me know, yep, it's on its way. And so long as I keep focused in that area, but what happens is we tend to start moving in the right direction, and then we get hooked on the past again, and we spend a lot of time toing and froing, which is what makes it so frustrating. And then we get stuck in frustration, and then kind of can't get out of our own way because we're feeling frustrated, and therefore we continue creating more and more frustrating experiences. So it might be, you know, every time I get ahead, then something else happens, and it totally derails me again, or it takes all my money, or it takes all my income. So maybe you do get like a bit of a cash flow surplus, or something happens, or you get a bonus at work, but then something else happens, you know, the air conditioner blows up, or you need a major service on the car, or like any of those things. So the more that we can really get clear, where are we limiting ourselves, where have we made it wrong to have more money? And I had to do like so much work around that particular area as well. So you can start to look at all of those things, start to think about and feel into, what is it that I feel each day? Because changing how you feel is, you are literally magnetizing yourself to that. I know that I said that at the start, but it's so, so, so important. And it is the greatest thing that can change your circumstances so fast. And I've literally, you know, I could talk about the miracles that have been created in my life so many times. Like, I've manifested even the color of flowers that I wanted, not just that I wanted flowers, but the actual color of flowers as well, down to 3 different colors, purple, pink, and white. So if anybody's thinking about buying me flowers, you know, they're my favorite colors, just joking there. Hey Rita, hey Karen. But it's so important to get super, super clear on what it is that you do want. And if you're not focused, so many people know what they don't want, and they're focused on what they don't want and how can I solve this problem, but they keep looking at the problem. And it's just like saying, don't think of the blue shoe, don't think of the blue shoe, don't think of the blue shoe, don't think of the blue shoe. You're continuing to create that image in your mind, and the image in your mind is what you're creating in that moment. We create through images, and we create through intense emotion. So if you're thinking about something that scares the hell out of you, or that you don't want to experience, or makes you feel really angry or really frustrated, you'll be running a movie, you'll be running an image in your mind. Hey Leah, great to have you on, hun. And that will be replaying over and over and over again. And that's what you're starting to attract to you. And you'll know whether it's something that you want or something you don't want by how you feel when you think about that particular image. So when we say, you know, don't think of the blue shoe, what are you thinking of? Of course you're thinking of the blue shoe. You can't get that image out of your head because it's the mind doesn't hear don't think. It just hears blue shoe, blue shoe, blue shoe. Now, if you didn't want to think of the blue shoe, the way to do that is to focus on what it is that you do want instead. So if I say think of the yellow sunshine, 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 then again, like, we get the image of the yellow sunshine in our head, and we don't even have to not thinking about the blue shoe because the yellow sunshine is what we're actually wanting to create. So we start to feel that and we start to experience that as well. So I hope that's been super helpful for you guys. Like I said, I am in the process of just creating this money manifestation course. If that's something that resonates for you, or if you're just like having a challenging time over Chrissy, New Year, holidays, all of that stuff, pop yes below and I can reach out to you after I've created it. We'll probably be kicking off in a little while. Another thing that I'm also introducing, which I'm super pumped about, and this is just my way of giving back to people and helping people kick off the new year in a really, really phenomenal way, is jumping into my Inner Circle Mastermind. You get 30 days for free, and after that you can decide whether you want to keep going or not, but anything that you learn in that 30 days is 100%, you know, like, that's just extra value for you guys. And you can take that knowledge and you can utilize that knowledge. We cover so many different things. The Inner Circle Mastermind, it's about being an empowered woman. It really is about being an empowered woman and stepping into that space and moving forward in a really, really powerful way, but doing it consistently over the next 12 months as well. So if that's something that you'd like to find out more about as well, comment yes below, and I can definitely get in contact with you and we can go from there, get you hooked up in the Inner Circle Mastermind, and move forward in a powerful way for 2019 as well. Lots of love to you all. I do have to run. I've got a client call now. Have a fabulous day and I will catch you guys later. Bye.